Hey folks, BlackCross here, and welcome to another rendition of my BlackCross Collect game series. So, it's been a while since I've done this, and rightfully so. The majority of the time that I've been going to retro games or buying games is mostly in small quantities. So, what with Christmas being around and everything like that, that actually made it grow extensively well. Now, of course, it's not just games, it's also other stuff in general. So, I will go ahead and be talking about all that in this video. So, be prepared to see a lot. So let's go ahead and kind of get started with the showcase by basically showing off what I've gotten during the after Black Friday sale. Now, what do I mean by whenever I say the phrase after Black Friday sale? Well, at Walmart we have a saying of where we get an extra % off if we worked at Black Friday. I did. Delmar was lucky enough to where he didn't have to, but I did. Black Friday wasn't bad, actually. In fact, I think slowly but surely Black Friday will eventually fade out. If nothing else, people will stop opening their doors on a Thursday, and instead we'll just stick to the Friday part of it all. Maybe. Who knows? We'll see. But anyway, after Black Friday, we got our special thing, and I got a couple of things from there. Most of which is mostly groceries and other Christmas gifts I've been wanting to stack up on. But I also got two particular games that they had on sale. One of them is .hack GU Last Recode. Now, you know right off the back why I probably got this, and it's the only reason why, because technically I've got the PS2 version, but it is because of the so-called Volume 4 reconnection. So, I'm going to be playing this and seeing how it ends up, but if you want me to live stream .hack GU Last Recode, then I will do so. But for the most part, I am going to be probably playing it on my own time, per se. I'll be playing through the first 3 volumes, but then I'll be playing through the part 4 volume in due time. So, with that being said, the next thing I got is Technomancer. I saw this on a PlayStation Store, and when I looked at the detail, because here's the thing, when it comes to most game trailers, they usually show off like the high points of the games and stuff like that. This case though, it showed the development process of the game and what all to expect in the game. And from what they talked about, it kind of had me interested in it. So I was like, Technomancer. I'm going to give it a shot and see what it's like. And it looks fun. It looks interesting. But we'll see in due time once I actually start into it. And I need to try to make room somehow or another, but we will just have to go with what we've got. Anyway. So about a couple of weeks after, well actually technically this happened before Black Friday. Before Black Friday, my mother and our stepdad, Wes, invited us to go to Cookville with them, which is a town over from where we live, to have Thanksgiving dinner. Obviously because I had to work that Thursday night, but they were off Wednesday, so they figured, hey, let's go to Cookville and have Thanksgiving dinner. I was like, okay, cool, where are we going? They said Logan Steakhouse, and I was like, ribs, steak over turkey. I'll take it. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind turkey, but there are certain other meats that are better than turkey. Ham is obviously going to be overpowered by it, but I will take ribs any day. You guys know that by now. I'll take ribs. I've been obsessed with ribs so far this year, and I think I've ate more ribs this year than I had any other year, which says a lot. But either way, we went to Cookville, and among other smaller things that I gotten, we went to Game Exchange, and I actually did get myself a couple games from there. 2 of them I've been wanting to get anyway, because number one, I had one, and the other one, I had rented it a couple times. But one of them I saw, and I was like, for what the price is, I'll go ahead and grab it. So, this one is a Shaman King Power of Spirit. If you don't know what this is basically a tactical fighting game. Now, what do I mean by tactical fighting game? Well, the first part of the game is where basically you are on a map and you're moving your characters throughout this map in order to fight the enemy on the other side of the team. And then once you encounter that enemy, you are then put into a 2.5D size fighting game in which where you're basically fighting the opponent, and depending on how quickly you fight the opponent depends on if they're still around for next turn or if they are dead. So It's a fun one. It's not perfect, but it is a fun game. Plus, if you're a fan of the show, then this one is really good. Although I remember watching the show and realized that they ended it before they even got into the tournament per se, which is unfortunate because that was like something that I was actually interested in most. But at least they got rid of like the main villain of the TV series. But that's been years ago. Actually, have they ever released a Shaman King DVD box set? I should look into that because that was actually one of the good shows that came out during that time. Another one that I got is Radiant Stories. Fun story about this one. Get it? Radiant Stories. Anyway, I rented this twice in my past times. Back when we actually had a rental store. First time I played through it, didn't really get far enough. And then about a year or two later, I rented it again and got a little bit further into it. Now, this game admittedly is slow starting. Like, it starts off very slow. But I imagine if I stick with it this time around, I might actually get a lot further into it. Gameplay-wise, it's not bad. And I'm sure it gets better as you play through it. It just starts off very slow in my personal opinion. Or at least that's how it felt like when I first started it. And then this one, now keep in mind, this is a collector's box. And it's not really big for a collector's box, but the point is, it's a collector's set nonetheless. I saw it at Game Exchange, and they had it priced at, I think it was like $15, $12, and I was like, shit, for that price, I'll take it, you know? And it's the DayZ Human Revolution Augmented Edition. It has everything that's still in it. It has the, let's see, it has this game soundtrack. It has a 44-minute making of DVD feature. It has a motion graphic novel adaptation from DC Comics. It also has a 40-page art book. So yeah, it looks really good, and I really like it. So for like less than $15, I actually got quite the deal here, and I'm glad because I mean I like Human Revolution. I still need to kind of go back through and play Mankind Divided, you know, just get a better ideal as to like maybe I might have missed something or maybe there's like a bigger thing about it. But I liked it Human Revolution better than I did Mankind Divided, which is weird, and that's how I ended up wanting to play Mankind Divided, because I liked the Human Revolution so much. And whenever I played through Mankind Divided, I kind of enjoyed it, but at certain points in the game, I didn't really feel that fully immersed into the game. Like, there were certain things that I was, like, turned off by it, but that was just me. Plus, based on the game timeline, this happens right after the first one, and thus, the way the ending of the first one is, depending on multiple choice, of course, and if you exclude the DLC, of course, it leaves it open for any possibility, whether Adam Jensen is dead or if he's alive, so on and so forth. So it's one of those things where it's like, it doesn't line up with the ending unless you go for like the middle choice, and that middle choice basically states that everyone that was in that building that didn't evacuate when they did died probably, and the world was left unchanged. And unfortunately, it seemed like as though as if the world did change, but for the worse. And it was like, that's not the way I thought it was gonna go, but whatever. But that being said, this happened a couple of weeks later, in which case my brother Delmar got me a whole bunch of stuff for Christmas. Of course, I went on ahead and gave him a whole bunch of stuff as well, which I'm glad he loved it, what I got him. I got him basically a bunch of stuff involving the Mickey's Band Concert cartoon. I found like a pin set that he really loved. I found, you remember those old beanbag characters that Disney always pushed out back in the day? I found a set of those, and he loved that. And I even got him the Walt Disney Treasure DVD set, and it featured the cartoon shows from 1937 to 1939, and it featured the majority of the cartoons that either both him and I really loves, being that of the band concert, Lost and Ghost, the clock cleaning, just a whole bunch of other favorite stuff as well. But at any rate, though, he did give me a whole bunch of different games as well. One of them is Ape Escape. I don't know why I pronounced it that weirdly. It's Ape Escape, but I said Ape Escape. It's like, that's a weird way of pronouncing it. But Ape Escape. Been wanting to try this out for a while, actually. Mostly because I've heard a lot of people say that this is really good. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, Cat Icarus either put this or the second one as a game that should have been put on the PlayStation Classic. And I was like, really? Huh. I guess it must be that good. So, definitely have to give that a shot. Dark Cloud. I'm both excited to play this, but at the same time, I'm wondering how should I go about playing it, because I remember playing through this, and I got very far in, like, the first dungeon, technically, but for some reason, I couldn't beat the boss at the very bottom of that dungeon. So I'm hoping to play through this again and get a little bit further in, but we'll find out how that goes as well. I also finally got Katamari Damacy. I have been wanting to get this game for a long time now, and I finally have it. So that makes me happy that he got me Katamari Damacy. But that's not the only thing that Delmar got me. He also got me this right here, the Hunter figure of the Otaku series. I've been wanting this particular figure for a long time now, and Delmar finally got it. Now, you're probably asking yourself, did it come in this? No, I took the excess box out, but I love how the background looks in this, so I decided to keep it. So I'm going ahead and just show you what it looks like a little bit closer in. I really love how it looks. So this was something that I wanted to get anyway, because technically I have already gotten Solaire amiibo, which I don't know if I explained that story or not, but technically I did went ahead and order it at GameStop, but the day after I ordered it, they said they were sold out. So it's like, is my order even effective? I was like, well, they probably auto-cancel it anyway. But about a week before it got shipped, I got an email saying that it's been shipped, and it was like 2 months after I ordered it. And I was like, wait, what? What? You're shipping it? I thought you sold out. It's kind of weird, because technically the release date was set for something, and unfortunately the date was already passed. But whenever I went into GameStop, they said that they had it in stock, so I was like, okay, cool. And then all of a sudden, the next week, I found out that they were sold out, and it's like, wait, what? So why'd they have it labeled as stock? And then about 2 months later, they ship, and it's like, that's a weird transition, but whatever. Anyway, but I've got the Hunter finally, so that makes me happy. But one more game before I go into like some of the other stuff that I've gotten, and that is Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch. I have been wanting to get this one for a long time, because technically I've gotten the second one, but I hadn't played the first one, so it's like I need to get this one before I play the second one. And obviously story is going to be drastically different compared to the last one, because as far as I know they have no interconnection. But with that being said, I wanted to get this one anyway, so I finally got it, and I'm very excited to play it whenever I get a chance to. Now then, let's talk about some of the other stuff that I've gotten. First and foremost, go back here for a moment, because I want to show you the fleece blanket that I got. Got my very first Kingdom Hearts fleece blanket. So, this one I'm very glad that I finally got. But, yeah, I finally got it, and it's super soft. Super soft. Another thing, too, which this one's technically dirty, but the other one's clean. I washed it a few days ago, after wearing it for like about a day. But, I technically got this and one other sweatshirt, which really is not really a sweatshirt because of the material, but whatever. The Kingdom Hearts theme sweatshirt. And this is just one of them. The other one basically has, on one end it has Dream Drop Distance on it, and then the other half has Burst by Sleep on it. Which I really loved it. It looked cool. Also, it's very nice material. It's that type of material where you can wear it and you won't be miserably sweating underneath it. So, but I love this one. This is very nice. Again, it's dirty, but it will be clean in the next few hours. But the other sweatshirt I did wear on Christmas Eve night, whenever we went over to our parents for Christmas Eve. and then I wore it on Christmas Day because of how much I loved it. So that was really cool. But also, too, I also got me 2 other big things. One of them is this right here, the Kingdom Key. Now, before you ask the question, is this the expensive Keyblade that everyone was talking about? No, but it is the lower cost version of it. And actually, I kind of like this version better compared to the expensive one, mostly because the expensive one is very expensive. We're talking like over $100. So unless you want all those bells and whistles, which is mostly lights and sounds, but that's beside the point. Point is, unless you want those lights and sound effects, it's going to be an extra like 80 plus bucks and everything like that. Plus, I believe they're sold out right now, if I'm not mistaken. But I ended up getting the lower cost version, and I think this one, if I'm not mistaken, was $49.99 at GameStop or something. But all it is that this part right here is like hard plastic, and then this one right here is that soft foam plastic material. Which, all honesty, it's not bad, because most of the time it's mostly going to be used for display, like my other 3 Keyblades that I've got. So really having the cheaper end version of the Keyblade is actually nicer. And I don't feel as bad for someone spending over $100 on me. That being said, however, I did get another piece of item that was over $100. So I hope you're ready. I didn't want it to make sounds already, and sure enough, it's already making sounds. So here it is, the Infinity Gauntlet in all of its glory. I'm going to tell you right now, this is a different stage of puppetry that I am not used to, because the way that this thing works is that you have each individual finger attached to the Infinity Gauntlet in general. You have each individual finger attached to your individual fingers. The hardest part is actually the thumb part of the finger, which, as you can clearly see, I'm having a little bit of trouble trying to move it as we speak. There are 2 reasons why. Number 1 is on my left hand. So, because I don't use my left hand that much, I'm very weaker when it comes to mobility of my left hand. That being said, however, using this glove in general is not that hard to function except for the thumb part. And the second reason is that there is actually a bar in which it helps you grip the glove better, I guess, if I'm not mistaken. It helps you grip the glove better for whenever you do a full fist in general. Like, it helps you grip it better. But the hard thing is that because your thumb is wrapped around that bar, it makes it harder to grab that particular lever and everything. But I love this because, number 1, you actually do get to wear it and move your fingers. But also, 2, because it has a lock feature that allows you to pose it however way you want to. For example, you can pose it like this, rock on dude, or you can do it like this, where it's like pointing at someone, or as most people have been doing it, they've been posing it like this. So, as you can tell, they have posed it multiple ways. But I posted like an actual fist, like it's displayed in multiple trailers and stuff. So it's going to be in its fist position. And this is like the most expensive one that I've gotten. But I liked this version better just because there was a lot more functionality with it. A lot more displayability and a lot more enjoyment in terms of like, if, say for example, someone was to cosplay as Thanos, this would be the one actual merchandise they would more likely grab, because it actually is functionable. See what I mean? It's so much nicer. So much nicer. Like I said, the Keyblade and then the Infinity Gauntlet was both of the ones that I had gotten, and they are both extremely nice. But that's not the end of it. No, it's not. We're far from it, actually. I have gotten a crap ton of pop figures, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I love getting pop figures, especially now that I'm actually getting hardcore collecting into them. But holy shit, do my friends know what I like. They do. First and foremost, we have this one right here. which it is, crap, I forgot her name already. Someone in the comments, please quote me on it. I've only seen the film once on DVD, and I really enjoyed it then. But it is, L335, if I'm not mistaken, from the Solo movie. I loved this droid. This sort of like went back to whenever we were watching Rogue One, and I loved it, K2SO. And this one's no different. I loved her. I loved her snarky attitude and everything. But then she dies. Well, technically her memory is within the Millennium Falcon, but still to a point I loved it. This character. This was my absolute favorite. Admittedly, though, I actually liked it Solo a lot better than I thought I would. Like, I was thinking to myself, it's like, I don't like the actor who plays as Solo, but I was like, well, technically, Harrison Ford chose him. He chose him in particularly, so it's like, okay, if Harrison Ford chose him, then he probably plays a decent Solo, right? Watched the movie, I saw more Solo than I ever thought I would, so I was like, they did good. The guy playing as Han Solo did great, and Harrison Ford did a great job choosing him to be Han Solo, so it would be nice to see more of what would be to come, but from what I'm hearing, it sounds like we may not get to hear the rest of the story, because the way they ended it, I hope you guys don't mind spoilers at this point, but it's just like a small spoiler, really. Technically, you see Darth Maul at the end of the movie, and I wanted to see where they were going to take that. I really wanted to see that so badly, just to see Darth Maul in it. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And keep in mind, technically, there's a TV show out there known as Star Wars Rebellion, where technically Darth Maul is featured into that TV series. Record, he's got mechanical legs, and in this one he does have mechanical legs as well, but he does feature in it. So I wanted to see more as to where the story was going to progress in terms of that story detail. So it's like to see Darth Maul in it made it so much more interesting. But the movie itself was still really good. I really enjoyed it. And if you haven't seen it, definitely go ahead and give it a chance to watch it. Either rent it, watch it, stream it, download it, pirate it, I don't care. Definitely go see it because, surprise, surprise, the movies that Disney has been doing have been really good. They have been really good so far. Despite the backlash that most people give, they are really good movies. And if you're just a movie fanatic like I am for Star Wars, you'll love these movies. They are still good quality when it comes to movies. The next thing I got, a friend of mine got me. He got me two particular pop figures. One of them is the Kingdom Hearts 3 Sora pop figure. He looks really cool in that pose, and I like him for it. But also, too, he got me this other one as well. He got me the Monsters, Inc. Sora. Like I said, I love the Monster Sora. He's really cool looking in my personal opinion. So, to have a pop figure of him, I'm happy on that one. And the way he said it, too, is pretty cute as well. He's like, listen, I know that technically the Collector's Edition didn't have the Monster Sora, so I figure I'd give you the next best thing. And I was like, I'll take it! I'll take it! So it made me happy to see that. So it's like, okay, that's really cool. I really love it. And since I've been collecting pop figures like crazy, I don't mind getting pop figures, really. I'm always happy to see them. And then, of course, I've got me this as well. The dual-wielding Buster, the Blaster Sora. I don't know what technically this Keyblade's called. I'm sure it has a name technically, and someone's already leaked that information out, but I hadn't really looked into it myself. But they had this pop figure, and the funny thing is, I figured this would be the second to the next hard-to-find pop figure in terms of Kingdom Hearts 3 pop figures, because the Guardian form Sora has already increased in price due to fluctuation, and it's like, for crying out loud. But I found this one at GameStop, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I am grabbing this, because finding this one would be rare to find on its own. Now then, if you'll give me just a sec, I'm going to go ahead and grab the other 6 pop figures that are down there. Now, the reason why these aren't out of their boxes is because I need to get me a new shelf to put the pop figures in. The shelf that I have currently right now is officially full. So with that being said, let's go ahead and showcase all the pop figures that I've got here. I've got me another droid for Christmas, and this one's from Rogue One. It is C2B5 droid, which basically looks like R2-D2, but it's the Empire version of the droid. So, got that one. I also got another set of Kingdom Hearts pop figures. Come on. Got me Riku from Kingdom Hearts 3, as well as Vanitas. So that's really cool to have both of these now. Like I said, the majority of my pop figures is going to be mostly Kingdom Hearts themed, which is fine by me. I like that idea. I also got me another pop figure after Christmas and everything like that, which is the Mickey from Kingdom Hearts 3 pop figure. You know, since I am getting Kingdom Hearts 3 themed pop figures, it only makes sense to go ahead and grab the Mickey version as well, seeing as how his outfit is different. But I actually like his outfit. I really do like it. It's a lot different, and it makes him a little bit more, I suppose you could say, mature, I guess? Which isn't how Mickey is. He's very mischievous, but whatever. It's always cool to see that. And the last bit of pop figures that I've gotten, my friend, the friend of ours, was like, he didn't know what to get me. He was like, I know what you like, but I don't know what you don't have. And thankfully, my brother told him what I technically wanted and that I hadn't gotten yet. And when he saw it, he's like, makes sense, makes sense. I'm trying not to smack into the mic. There we go, much better. Okay. And these particular pop figures, they finally released, and I was like, yes, I can mark these out of my pop figure want list. And that's the Full Metal Alchemist pop figures, Edward Elric and Alphonse Elric. And that makes me happy that I got both of these finally. Both of these are really cool. I've been wanting to get the Full Metal Alchemist pop figures. I wanted them out so badly. It's like, okay, so you got Bleach, you got Death Note, you got a whole bunch of Narutos. Actually, no they don't. They've got a few Narutos, despite the fact that there's like a whole bunch of characters in Naruto, and it's still going as we speak. But you haven't have a Full Metal Alchemist? What's going on here? And they finally got Full Metal Alchemist pop figures, which makes me extremely happy. Always happy to see these. It's like, yes. Full Metal Alchemist. Love that show. I love it. And for those people that are asking the question, I love the first set of Full Metal Alchemist better than I do Brotherhood. Nothing personal. I get why people love Brotherhood. It's a lot more lighter. It's a lot more colorful. To me, I just like the darker themed aspects of Full Metal Alchemist. And the first set of Full Metal Alchemist episodes did have that dark theme in it. Brotherhood, it told a better story, I admit, because it's based on a manga. But if I had to say I liked it the first set better, that's just my personal opinion. I get why people liked it the other one, but still to a point, I like that better. Continuing on of what else we've got here as well, I got me a Pixel Sora. So yeah, got me this one. They also have a Mickey, Donald, and Goofy of these things, so I am probably more than likely going to be grabbing those as well. And then, of course, I got me a Kingdom Hearts wallet. Now, here's my problem when it comes to getting certain themed stuff that are going to be usable. Like, for example, wallets, shoes, watches, and stuff like that. They're not meant to last. They're meant to wear out, which means in due time, if I was to use this, this would also wear out as well. And I don't want to use it because, guess what? My other wallet that I've got, the PlayStation 1 wallet, is already wearing out as it is. So if I use this, this would also wear out relatively quickly. It would fade out, there'd be like a white splash over here, there'll be a white splash over here, you wouldn't even see Sora and Mickey. I don't want to do that. But my mom was like, just get another wallet like it. And I was like, but why? My current wallet is good as it is. So you're probably asking yourself, will I be using this wallet? Probably not. But it will be displayed because I like how it looks. I'm sure some of you have probably seen these at Walmart at least. If not, you'll probably see them everywhere else. But the Nano Metal Figs series. I did not know they had this one. I did not know they had this. And a friend of mine, he recently started working at GameStop for part-time at the moment right now. But he saw this and he's like, this would be a perfect Christmas gift to get him. And he got me the Kingdom Hearts Metal Figs. And it is so cool. The really cool part is that it has Master Xehanort in it. That's the crazy part. Like, record, yes. You could say that it has, yes, it has Ansem, it has Samus, it has Xion. But to have Master Xehanort on there, and technically it just says Kingdom Hearts. It doesn't say Kingdom Hearts 2, it doesn't say Birth by Sleep or anything, it just says Kingdom Hearts. And just to have this is awesome, so that makes me happy just to have these, because it's really cool just to have them there. Will they be out of their box? Probably not, but probably, I don't know. Mostly because I don't know where to display them yet. But I'm sure that won't take me long to figure out where I want to display this at. But still, loved it. Now, going on ahead and talking about this as well, go ahead and show you this before I go into that one. I got me a PlayStation mug for Christmas. A PlayStation mug. Now, I've got other decorative mugs, and I don't like using these type of decorative mugs for drinking purposes, mostly because, just look at them. Look how nicely detailed there is. And I love this part. But here's the problem. You cannot machine wash them. You have to hand wash them. And while that might not be a big deal for some people, it kind of is for me. But also, too, I just like how this is, and I figured, since I do have a large abundance of PlayStation memorabilia stuff, let's just go ahead and just make this as part of my office desk to where I can store my pens and stuff. So, like, you know what? At least I get to admire it all the time, because I'm always having to grab a pen or a pencil or a highlighter or a knife, which is right here as well. I'm always going to be using them, so it's like, why don't we just go ahead and store it into this right here? It just makes sense, you know? So I have it at arm reach at all times, so it's always nice just to be able to reach through it and actually get to see it all the time. So it's like, instead of seeing it whenever I'm drinking something, which I don't drink coffee as much anyway, so it's like, it doesn't really serve a point anymore, but to see it as a usable object, it's always nice to have it. Now, this next one, a lot of you are going to be triggered. In fact, I have no doubt in my mind that some of my friends are going to be triggered when they see this, but keep this in mind. I was going to get this anyway, number one. Number two, a family member got it for me because they figured, hey, he's a PlayStation fan. He's going to love this. And admittedly, I would, and I do. But there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be picky about this. And I've heard a lot of backlash from it anyway, so give me just a second, I will explain. It is the PlayStation Classic Mini. The Classic PlayStation, whatever. PlayStation Classic. I want to keep calling it the PlayStation Classic Mini because it is mini. But to a degree, I know a lot of people are going to be saying, BlackCross, why do you have this? Why do you have this? This is a piece of junk. This is absolutely terrible. I do not care. I am going to give this a try and see what it is. If it's remotely playable, because from what people have stated, it seems like it's not even playable. I want to know if it's even playable. If I can at least play them in good, original quality, not high-def quality, just original quality, that's good enough for me. Because I've heard a lot of people say the PAL versions, whenever they are put into emulation and stuff, it just doesn't work well. The sound putting is different. The sound putting is off half the time. And then I've even heard people say that in terms of emulation, it is not a good emulation. So it's like, I want to at least try it out myself and see how this does. And chances are I probably will enjoy it a little bit better than most, but I will also be just as equally what's the word I'm looking for? Critique. That's the word I'm looking for. Equally critique about it, because here's the thing. My first problem is that they could have had a better list of games. That's the obvious gander. I'm not complaining about the fact that it has 20 games. That's always a good thing. But I will agree with some people whenever they say, are you even going to be replaying all of them? In my case, I'm probably going to more likely be replaying like that of Wild Arms or Persona or a couple of the other stuff here and there. I would not be seeing myself playing Rainbow Six Siege or Grand Theft Auto for that matter. So it's like, in all honesty, they could have had a better choice in terms of lists, and the Japanese version had a better list of games on it anyway. So it kind of disappoints me that the games aren't exactly better for this version, but hopefully someone will have cracked it to where it is hackable, and maybe I can actually program my own better list of games. Games that I wanted. So in other words, I'll be playing it as its original state and giving my full thoughts as to how it is, and deciding if it's even worth your purchase or not. Chances are it probably won't be worth your purchase, but at least I'll give it a shot and say, hey, I did play this just to see what it was like. Plus, I am kind of excited about it. You know, I really am. Now then, for me to talk about the last thing that I gotten for Christmas, real quickly, because this is the one that I was actually happy about the most. It's one thing that I got it, but it was one thing that actually works. But I've got the Riku and the Sora Guardian form of Kingdom Hearts 3. Now, I got these in particular because these are Bring Arts, and the Bring Art version, the only difference is that they are smaller and therefore they are cheaper. Not by much, but they are cheaper and affordable to grab and everything. But here's the cool thing about these guys. These scale perfectly with other stuff. For example, if you remember during the convention at Fanboy Expo, I had gotten the Goofy as well as the Donald figures of the Bandai Namco. And they scale perfectly with each other. They scale perfectly. And then here's Donald right here. Again, scales perfectly. And I was like, oh my gosh, it works. It actually works. It is perfect. I love it. But here's something else too. Now, I know some people probably don't care much for the other series, but there is a Diamond series of Kingdom Hearts, and those are not very good quality, admittedly, but I do have one. And that is Pete. Pete actually looks pretty good in the Diamond Collection set. So admittedly, in terms of the Disney characters, they actually look good. In terms of the actual human models, not so much. But he scales really good, actually. Like, I was actually surprised. Now, record, he scales really good in terms of Donald and Goofy, because technically Pete is actually bigger than Goofy. So to see him being bigger than that, it's not that bad of a difference. I'm not gonna lie, it actually is pretty good. So I decided to get him, and this was like months ago whenever they had these on sale, and I was like, you know what, I'll go ahead and grab the Pete version because this is actually the best looking one, because Pete is kind of goofy looking anyway. So to see this version, it is actually really good. It looks really good. It's translated really well. So to have the Bring Arts version of Sora and Riku, that makes me happy. I'm hoping that the Mickey and Kairi, as well as the Lee that comes out later on within the year, will be Bring Art size, which I've heard they are. So that's going to make the whole set stand out a little bit better too as well. I'm hoping they'll come out with more characters of Bring Arts, because that would be very nice to see. It'd be nice to see that Aqua, Terra, and Ven, as well as Xion and Roxas, get sized down to the Bring Arts. In fact, I've been seeing that they're using the Bring Arts a lot more, and rightfully so. Number one, they are cheaper than their actual Kai versions, because their Kai versions has gotten bigger, and thus they cost more. But these are a lot more cheaper, and really, in all honesty, in terms of what you're getting the same amount of possibility as you would be with the Kai version. Admittedly, the Kai version is bigger, but really, in all honesty, these sizes are not bad. I actually like these better, in my personal opinion. Really, I do. So, but I still have my Kingdom Hearts 3 Kai figure, and really, in all honesty, I like that pretty well. But I do like the Bring Arts version better. Admittedly so, I do like them. Admittedly, my only complaint, though, which is a small complaint, is, of course, the little hand nubs. Because, for some reason, particularly Riku in this case, does not want to stay on there. Or at least I can't get it to snap on there entirely. But, either way, though, I do like the Bring Arts version better. They're very nice, so. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this Collect-a-thon theory. Let me know what you thought about it so far. In terms of Christmas, it's been really good. I will be doing another video talking about my Christmas entirely. So, yeah, we'll talk about that in another video. So anyway, though, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. This is BlackCross signing off. Catch you guys later.